Good evening, guys. I'm going to take you on a little tour around the drum kit here. This is how we normally would mic up a drum kit to get the maximum out of it. This is a Tama Star Classic drum kit. Down here in the bass drum, we got a PL20. It's a beautiful microphone. Looks like an egg. Got a lot of high-end response, a lot of low-end response. Beautiful kick drum out of the drum. Gives you a beautiful sound. The mic is nice, you get a great match. You ought to hear it on tape, it will work. Now, placement of the drum mics. It's generally pretty easily, you know. I mean, you want to point everything away so that it only attracts the actual instrument that you're trying to mic. In a live situation like this, it's very hard because everything is live. And these guys, drummers, they hit hard. So, we come in here and we want to do the tom-tom. Okay, you come into a spot where you have a lot of drummers that like to crowd you, you know. So you find a nice spot where the microphone is pointed as much away from everything else within reason. And it's not interfering with the cymbals, because these guys hit real hard and these things move all over the place. Sometimes you come in and guys, they crowd you and you're looking for a little spot to stick a microphone in, and it makes it real tough. This guy sets up his kit real nice. As you can see on this side here, we have the snare. Generally, it's just you point it right at the center of the snare. Try and keep it out of the way of the guy because these are expensive microphones, and this is one of the best damn snare mics you can ever find. It's a regular Shure 57, and it's just universal. It sounds great on any instrument you can play. There's better, but it sounds great on any instrument you can play. And you just kind of make sure that it's not picking up a lot of the hi-hat, and because the hat has its own mic. Point it at the center of the snare. If it sounds good, it's going to ring. You try and keep it out of everything. That's a trick with all the microphones. You try and keep as much that's not supposed to be in them out of them. Come over here and you notice the hi-hat. It's pointed away from the rest of the kit. Snare especially, because it just, you know, it bleeds through everything. It bleeds through everything. Hat's easy. You can throw the world's cheapest microphone on a hi-hat. A little tweaking in the studio later and it'll be fine. Now we're going to the overheads here now. If you can see, they're not exactly identical. A lot of times you go and you see a drum kit live on stage and the guy's got them both pointing down and they're just kind of sitting there covering everything. Trick is to, once again, leave as much out of the microphones that's not supposed to be in the microphones. That cymbal catches this side and a little bit of the center crash. This cymbal is mainly for the ride, but it also catches center crash. So you have to position them so that it's all even, because this cymbal comes through both microphones and it's the only one that does. So it's, you know, it's all trial and error, and you just try and aim it away from what's not supposed to be there. And trick is use good condenser microphones. There's a ton of them out there. Sennheiser, Shure. Guys, floor tom. Same thing. It's the same rule as all of them. If you notice, it is pointed away from this ride cymbal, and it's you know, on a little left of center on this drum, which is not normal. That's because of the setup. But the trick is try and keep it away, because you don't want this bleeding into this as heavy as it's bleeding into this, you know. You know what? I had a flood in my place the other day. Okay, well basically the trick is that, you know, at no time should everything or anything clip on these things, because that clip is square waves. It's bad for you. If you'll notice, the kick ride's almost as hot as it should to, you know, one and a half more lines and you're hitting red, and the snare is the same way. The reason you don't see the red on the other stuff is because they're not actually being hit at this time. You notice, you hear the cymbals, the crashes, they're just coming up. And when he really hammers them, they're going to go a little higher. But the toms are not being used right now. There you go. These inputs here, if you don't ever clip them, you won't clip the master. And The master is going to go on because there's many stages beyond this. This is just the drum sound. So if you start with a drum sound that is already in trouble, there's no recourse later on. You can't fix it. You just cannot take that ugly away. It's the only way I can describe it. Once you go into the red on these things, it starts to get a little ugly and sounds noisy, and that's where your distortion comes in. So too many of those, you can imagine what would make a possibly good sounding song on a record not sound so good. So basically just, be soft. No matter how rock it is, and there's that edge between enough and too much, and usually it's better to just ride the underside of the not enough. The trick, in all honesty, is you have well-tuned drums, well-positioned microphones, and a great drummer, and you will always get a great drum sound. Enjoy your day. This is Tony D from BC signing off saying, have a good rockin' day.